I think it's kind of ironic for someone who literally posts videos on YouTube and oftentimes posts fit pics on Instagram and stuff like that is going to be talking about whether or not you need social media to be a fan of fashion. But I think it's definitely a worthwhile conversation. Howdy, y'all. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are safe and I hope you guys are healthy. My name is Josh and I absolutely love clothing and personal style. So if you're into that type of content, feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube as well as follow me on Instagram at wears_Galdo. So the overarching question that exists within this video is going to be, do you need social media as a fan of fashion? And the quick answer is no, you really don't need it. No one ever needs social media. However, utilizing social media as a tool to be able to enhance your experience with your interest in fashion is, I think, really, really important and something that can be used to make or break an entire career. You see it all the time. You see people that have made careers out of their love for something, and that's not just fashion, that's really anything. Video games or any other niche that you could possibly think of, it exists on the internet. And social media is so powerful in creating careers and tearing down careers. And it is such a volatile space. However, I feel like if you use social media as someone who's not a content creator, I think it can absolutely enhance your interest in fashion. For me personally, I would say that social media has played two very major roles in my interest of fashion. The first of which being exposure. Exposure to niches, brands, designers, and overall aesthetics that I never would have run into if not for social media. Social media does a really good job at displaying certain things, even if they're very niche and very uncommon. It is a way to stumble upon new things that you've never seen before, and I think that is so important. I would have never fallen in love with the separate aesthetics and brands and designers that I love today if not for social media. And a lot of people might say like, oh, it's more personal than that, but it all started with the exposure directly from social media at its core. Social media is such a great tool to be able to explore what exists in the world. And my lunch is done. I am very thankful for the exposure to a lot of different niches that I get to choose the way that I present myself in the world as an amalgamation of all the things that I've found, learned about, and applied to myself. And then the second thing that I think that social media is good for is it's literally in the name. It is the social aspect of social media. You can connect with people that you may never have connected with via social media based off of very common hobbies. And for the sake of this video, fashion. I have met a really good number of people who are interested in the same things that I'm interested in and have legitimately made actual friends through the internet based off social media. Very thankful for everyone that I've met via this platform, Instagram, or if I've met you based off of clothing, I'm really thankful for social media because without it, I never would have. Communities and like-minded people coming together, that is what social media represents to me personally. Now, that's enough of me just absolutely glazing social media. Now it's time to talk about the negatives that social media poses to someone who's interested in fashion. And that's going to be a lot of very unhealthy mentalities when it comes to talking about clothes or appreciating clothes. Social media becomes unhealthy when people start to perpetuate certain aspects about themselves based off of their social media. And I would definitely say that it is pretty frightening to understand that you're being perceived by someone without you having input in how that's being perceived. That sounds like an abstract concept, but you kind of have no control over someone's reaction when looking at your page. That sounds scary, but at the same time, you have all the control in the world to post and exemplify yourself to the world however you want. It is a double-edged sword in a way where social media can be utilized to create entire careers, and I think that's awesome. Whereas it can also be used as a means to tear you down professionally sometimes. So you definitely have to be very wary and careful about how you present yourself to the world. And I think that is just a matter of self-control And I think that is a very big lesson that a lot of people learn, especially when they have negative experiences on social media. It is not always self-inflicted. There are definitely areas of the internet that are remarkably toxic and very negative towards each other. And fashion is notorious for that. There are some, like fashion Reddits, that are very hypercritical about people and how they either look physically or how they style certain things. And I gotta say, the people who like are gatekeepers and are people who are super negative, understand, as someone who is using social media, it is so much easier to toss an insult and to attack someone behind a screen. It is something that I find so disgusting in people that exist within these fashion communities. They are so quick to be hypercritical when, I mean, anyone can say anything behind the guise of a computer screen. And people tend to be a lot more, what's the word for it? What's the phrase? People tend to be so much more willing to be rude, to be inconsiderate, to be just outright an asshole via social media, and I think that's super unfortunate. I'm in the camp where I want to encourage people to consume and absorb information via social media at whatever rate is most comfortable to them. And I highly encourage, if you are someone who is brand new in like loving fashion, you do you. Everybody learns at their own pace, and I highly encourage people to just continue to explore and continue to foster a positive relationship with social media. Some people can be very, very sensitive to social media, and there are some in the world that I would suggest that social media is not the greatest thing for their mental health. I highly suggest that if you can help it, developing a little bit of a thick skin when existing on the internet, especially when you are in the fashion scene, because there are so many people so quick to show their opinions, to shove their opinions at you, and sometimes these opinions are not positive. The amount of comments that I get sometimes pretty much hating on me and what I like and love, it happens. And I honestly, like, sometimes I'll have fun with it and reply. Other time, most of the time, I don't reply at all. But developing a thick skin, I think, is definitely very useful to you. And definitely don't take any insults from the internet to heart, because these people are just keyboard warriors that it's just easier to throw these things out because you don't see them face to face. Understand that your own curation of your own lifestyle and taste becomes that much more unique as time goes on, as you learn more about the world and yourself. And ultimately, I want to push the message that everything, everything that you do in life is meant for you to develop yourself to the truest extent. And if social media helps that, I highly encourage you to participate. So I may have gone off rambling on things that maybe are a little bit off topic, but just kind of redirecting to the overarching theme of the video here. As a fashion fan, do you need social media? If I'm honest, you don't need it. You really don't. However, social media, if utilized properly, can become something that can make your life, it can be a tool to enrich your experience within the fashion interest. Side note, if you're one of the people that bullies people online, especially within the fashion space, you're an asshole, and I don't mess with that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I've really been loving the discussion type of videos that I've been doing fairly recently. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.